Javion Cole as one of your starters, but that number 2 cornerback spot is a position of interest. When you look at that battle and how it's going, what stands out to you?
Just the fact that the guys know and understand that there is an opportunity there, and I think they're all in attack mode. Really like where they are at this point in camp. And, some of the things and some of the guys have stood out, just the attention to detail, the effort, and the execution piece. Really a healthy and deep group, where that's concerned, and guys really competing for that spot.
All right, do you have an idea on who's going to be that number 2 guy, or is this something that's going to carry into the season?
I think it's too early to tell. I mean, there's a lot of camp left. I do know that there are, more than a few options that we have, for the position. There's a couple of guys that can, play all 5 spots, which we like. The likes of guys like, Traden Stukes last year, just the flexibility piece. The more you can do, the better, right? And so really like where we are in terms of what we have and those guys that can, really step in and play opposite. Javion.
Michael? Maybe a little less experience in the secondary, a lot of new pieces. Do you find yourself coaching a little differently than maybe you did last year?
I wouldn't say that. I would say there, you coach different things at different times. I don't know what the numbers say in terms of experience versus unexperienced, but I would say, there are more guys that are coming in and wanting more help because it is new to them. Seeking more, or not seeking more time, but spending more time, right, in the offices, learning the verbiage and learning the scheme that way. But not necessarily coaching different, more attention to detail with a new group, still learning some of the guys that way. Obviously, having spring was a huge piece of it, but I would say more than anything, on their part, more guys spending more time in the building, trying to get familiar with everything.
Justin. Dwight Google, what do you think about his college football journey and his path to Arizona?
Great young man, who, started out at Nebraska, ended up at Charlotte, and is now here. He's a young man that is really eager to get the season going and his fresh new start. Really proud of who he's become since arriving here in the spring to now. I think Dwight is just starting to scratch the surface of who he could be, and we're really pleased with what he's done thus far in camp, but still a lot of work to be done that way. But really commend the young man and who he's become and accepting us and allowing us to coach him and develop him that way. But really excited for him and the things that could be this fall.
When you're evaluating players, when you look at his tape, what were some of the things that you noticed, whether it was from his time at Charlotte or Nebraska?
Just being honest, his time at Nebraska was really pivotal in us making the decision to go on him, because the scheme is very similar, and a defensive coordinator in Tony White. So we knew he'd be familiar to the system, and that matters. A few coaches, and Coach Bringell and Coach Thompson, who also had some familiarity with the young man and could speak to his character and his off the field. And who he is off the field, just kind of expedited his process versus a young man that, you maybe didn't have any previous relationships with. But it's just his ability to obviously play within the scheme, play press, play off man, and make plays on the ball. And then for me, just a young man that when I had a conversation with him, he's hungry. He's hungry, and he was willing and ready to come in and work, and that was important to me, and replacing some of the pieces that we're replacing for the season.
Jason and Michael?
What are your thoughts on the younger guys like Zaire and Zuri?
They're fun, man. They're fun. I'm really excited about these guys being here. I think like anything, where there's growth, there's a lot of ebb and flow. There's a lot of growing pains, but these are young men that have made tremendous strides. It's really, really huge in Zaire Heiler being here this spring and learning how we do things, how we practice, what red line means. And then the guy in Zuri who is coming from, Howard, and for him, this is the big stage. But he's a guy that has not shied away from the competition and the standard that is in the room, and really, really excited about what those guys bring to the table, and really hope they get the opportunity to contribute, ultimately contribute this season.
Michael and then Justin.
What is your assessment of the kind of defensive backfield's progress overall at this point? Obviously, you have a lot of pieces to replace. 4 guys who were drafted, 5th guy who, had a pick 6 in his exhibition debut. How do you view just the overall unit's performance and progress so far?
I would say, we're nowhere where we want to be. The standard's really high in the room, right? And the guys know that, but we're in the middle of our process, and I would say the positive thing is that we're healthy, right? And we have guys that some days they're taking, anywhere from, all the reps to, the next day they may not be taking those reps for whatever reason. And so, we may see more rotation in the secondary this year than we've seen in years past. We may not. I think it's still early, still way too early to tell, but thus far, really, really happy and pleased with the progress of this unit as a whole. And like I said, I think we have more guys in this secondary that can do more for this team than what we had a year ago, and that's exciting.
Justin.
Speaking of the NFL guys, you recruited him a while back. What do you think of Michael Dansby and just his path to the NFL and what he's been able to do?
Oh, man, I love it. He's a young man that I got to recruit out of high school. I mentioned that before. But just overjoyed and really excited for the young man and his family at the opportunity that he has. Got to speak to him and after his first preseason game, and just told him, man, just keep working, continue to lean in on your process. But man, couldn't be more proud of him and the things that he's been able to accomplish thus far. But very unique path, from San Jose to here. And going out the way that he did, really, really owe a lot to him and what we were able to do last year as a unit. But very, very proud of the young man.
The one guy that's been getting some second-team reps is Swade Griffin. I know he was banged up a lot last year. What was it like for you to see his path to get back on the field and now be in a position to finally make some plays?
Swade is a young man that has taken full advantage of what is in front of him. I think he knows and understands what's at stake in terms of this being, a year where we've brought in some new pieces and some guys that have played where he has not. And from special teams to defense, Swade is completely, fully leaned in on his process and what he needs to do to contribute to the team. And really, really proud of who he's become from spring to now. If I had to give someone an award for most improved, it'd be Swade Griffin. And I'm excited about what he can do because the kid can go. And obviously we know his background and the caliber, that is the Griffin family. But really excited about Swade Griffin and the opportunities that he'll have this year.
Jason.
What's next in the progression for Javion Cole, and how good do you see him becoming?
Sky's the limit. I have really, really high hopes and personal dreams for Javion and where his career can take him. He's a young man that, I said it over and over. He shows up every day. He's the same person. He works the same, and he understands what the process is and what he needs to do to be successful, both on and off the field. And I think he's a young man that can, you know, he can be all conference, anywhere from all conference to all American if he wants to be. You know, obviously staying healthy and being out there and making the plays when they present themselves will ultimately decide that. But he's a young man I couldn't be more proud of, the leadership role that he's taken within the room and on the defense and within our team. Really exciting to see how he's grown over the years as well.
We'll finish up with Justin.
Malcolm Hartzog is a guy that continues to step up in practice. What's it been like to watch him thrive at that slot cornerback spot?
It's awesome, you know. I think we all know it's not easy, not any easy feat replacing Traden Stukes. I'd say I'm pretty excited about the guy that we have in that spot this year, and that is all respect to Traden Stukes and the standard that he set. But you got a guy in Malcolm Hartzog who's, you know, played a ton of ball, and you know, he's looking to bounce back and make his own statement this year. And I couldn't be more excited about some of the things that he's gonna bring to our defense in that secondary this year. It's gonna be exciting.
In your opinion, what has been the most exciting receiver-cornerback matchup, whether it's one-on-ones or sevens?
Oh man, I love watching all of them, man. You know, I wish we did more one-on-ones. Coach B, I hope you're watching. But no, man, I think you know, every receiver that we got. So you're talking about a receiver group that is, I think, is pretty good. And they're a challenge every single day that we step out there. So there isn't a matchup out there that I'm like not wanting to see. You know, the biggest thing is making sure we practice the right way and take care of each other. But you know, watching our receivers compete for the ball when it's in the air and the routes that they're running. I mean, and obviously the guy that's throwing the ball ain't too bad either. It's fun to watch, you know. So I love watching all of them. I wish I could choose one out of the bunch, but I love watching all those guys compete.
Great, thank you, Coach.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys. You guys take care.
Yeah, it's basically the A team's reserves and then the B team's best players.
So no two ballots.
No two ballots. I'll tell people I'm missing it. You can rewatch it.
Their game? Coming here instead of
I mean, I love basketball and all that, but at the end of the day, it's just not. Who cares?
I have one coming here.
I mean,
I'll be laying down and go watch it.
Bryce is getting big minutes as normal.
The only reason I would watch that game is if the Godfrey thing goes through today and he's allowed to.
I'm gonna talk out real quick
Then I consider watching.
That's a possibility.
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Is that better?
That would be a 5 o'clock Eastern.
Because they asked him to lift the suspension. Did they lift the suspension today?
His lawyers asked for a shot loss next to it is what attenuation was.
His lawyers basically, not only that, they want to sanction the NCAA. I think it's like flat out illegal.
I mean,
He played in the Reese's. He played in the Reese's Final Four All-Star game. The one in Indianapolis. That was it. He didn't get money from agents, and I think like nothing. That's it. 4 games.
Could they argue that the 3 games in Lithuania count towards the
They are going to argue. That's their argument.
And then what if
Because the NCAA told them he can't play in Lithuania. And so they're like, that's fine, but that's 3 of the 4 games. And we'll hold him out against San Diego State or San Francisco anytime. And the lawyer's like, you can't suspend him at all. It's literally not legal. Someone doesn't need to make a spreadsheet.
someone did.
A court spreadsheet. Here, I need to find it.
What's up, fellas? Good to see you guys.
Spreadsheet that is not busy.
What was that?
Court spreadsheet, we're not busy. All the cases on the spreadsheet.
We'll wait till the cameras are back and ready to go. Great, all right, thanks for being here, everybody. Questions for our student athletes? We'll start with Justin.
Dwight, what brought you to Arizona?
First I want to say thank y'all for having me, for one. It's a blessing. And to answer your question, who don't want to be at the Block A? I love this place. They brought me over here. They told me that the culture is going to be different. It's going to be something that I got to get used to. At first, I didn't really understand like everything that they was talking about until I got here, and like I had to put my feet on land and go to work with my brothers. And I really realized like it's different. This place is different. You have to want to be at this place. And really, that's really what I love about here.
What was it about Arizona when you're being recruited out of the portal that maybe separated themselves from others?
I would say the coaching staff, they not only can they talk it, but they can back it up. We just put 5 DBs in the league. It's not really a place that's doing it like Arizona. We got a standard. It's set. And I want to come here and try to up the standard, try to be the next great thing out of Arizona.
Brian?
Tyrese, similarly, what led you to come here, especially after such a successful first season?
For me, I think it was more, like he said, the coaching staff, and it was like he said, the culture. The culture here is like nowhere else to me, like that I've been. It was more, the players were so in tune. They have a real good, like, tight brotherhood. And, that's something that you really want as a player, to bond with your brothers, the coaching staff, and bond with the whole staff in the facility in general. So, that was a really good thing for me, coming into, my visit and stuff like that. That was one thing that really gravitated me to Arizona.
For either of you, how much has Javion been helpful as far as getting you guys acclimated to what the expectations are here? Since you said all those guys are gone, but he's one of the ones that is back. How much has he helped you guys?
Javion, that's like a big brother to me. He makes sure I do everything right. He set the standard by example. He's not really the most vocal, but he's a leader within what he does. So you see a guy like that and you see that he constantly does it right, you kind of want to gravitate towards that guy. So that's really where he's at with me. And I'm pretty sure that could speak for all of us, to be honest.
His work ethic. I think his work ethic, when you watch it and you watch him play and what he does inside and outside the facility, it makes you want to be a better player all around. He's really good at, like, bringing all the players together and making us into one and, like, not letting us fail or play below the standard. So I think, having him as that leader in the room, and it's a real, like, it's a real good thing for our room to have somebody that we could, like, rely on like that. So, yes, sir.
Justin and then Jason.
Dwight, what are some of the things that you've learned from Coach Viney since you've been here?
I learned from Coach Viney. I call him Coach Chip, so that's what I'm going to refer to him as. What I learned from Coach Chip, you got to be a different type of player to play this position. You can have the most perfect game and then give up the game-winning touchdown and the whole world going to crash on you. You got to be different mentally. Like, technique, alignment, assignment, all that's going to come with football. Like, that's a part of your job. But the biggest thing I would say he brought to the table for me is the mental aspect. Like, you got to be really tough up here.
And how do you reflect on your time at Nebraska and Charlotte and just the previous stops and what you were able to do at both stops?
It was a great time while I was there. I'm here now, though. I really think this is where I need to be at. But it was a great time, but now we at Arizona.
Jason and then Chris.
Chip said that the defense you ran at Nebraska was similar to this defense. How much has that kind of helped you hit the ground running a little bit?
It was a seamless transition. Obviously, I haven't ran a defense for like 2 years, I would say, because I was there and then I went to Charlotte. But once you really get the terms, it's just different terminology, but it was seamless for me.
Chris and then back to Justin.
Kind of piggybacking off of that, I guess this is for either of you. We kind of hear consistently from the coaching staff, players, that Danny G's scheme is different, more complex than a lot of other schemes across the country. Just your guys' thoughts kind of adjusting to that, and then just all the new guys in the secondary and how you're able to bond and connect on and off the field.
So, I mean, for me, the defense is complicated, but once you, like he said, once you get into it and start learning terminology, and you have guys like Boog and Javion, Javion Boog, he's really, like I said, he helps with that to get your mind kind of rolling on those things that you might not know. So like I said, for new guys, we always come in the room together and we always talk about stuff together. So like we all see the stuff the same. So, we don't really try to leave nobody out. We want to make sure, because, one goes down and the next one's up. So we kind of move as a unit rather than individualize each other. So
To piggyback off Tyrese, Coach G is a genius. I can't put it no other way. He's a genius. He know how to get to you mentally and physically. Pretty sure if you be out to watch practice, you see how hard we hit the ground running. He does everything for a reason. And I feel like if we all buy into what he says, regardless of the scheme we run, if we just buy into what he says, we're going to be all right. We're going to be great.
Justin and Michael.
Question for both of you. Whether it's one-on-ones or sevens, has there been a favorite receiver matchup for you guys?
I'm going to be honest, I like all of our receivers. I feel like on a great day, we line it up and we go right at it. I feel like nobody can hang with our receivers. Like, they get us better, we get them better, we go at war. Them guys, they turning up on that side of the ball. So I really don't have a favorite, but I know come Saturday, all them boys coming to go get what we want.
I'm kind of the same boat as him. You know, a lot of our receivers hold different, different athletic skills. You know, some are speed receivers, some are up top guys, and so every time we go against them, we're getting like a different look every time. And I think that's really gonna help us sharpen our game, and as well for them, you know, it's gonna help them too, going against us. And you know, the competition we have every day is it's something serious. It's not just we take it more than just a practice. We try to make it as intense as possible. So.
Dwight, how did your brother get the name DiCaprio?
My mama and my auntie, I don't know, I wasn't even alive yet. But I love him with all my heart, and yeah, DiCaprio, that's his name.
So since he's older and been playing in the NFL, how much has he paved the way and has mentored you in your football career?
So it's pretty funny because I don't like to admit that he mentors me or he paves the way for me, because I always feel like I'm better than him, like just as a sibling. It's our little rivalry, but man, like, people don't understand how much of a blessing it is to have somebody who's been there and did it, because all the nuggets that he give me is stuff that he already been through. So whenever I got a chance, I'm always training with my brother, trying to sharpen my game. And also, like, being around my brother brings me around other professional football players. And I realized being around for that time, like, you got to be a pro. Everybody got the pro mindset. If you're not a pro, you're not going to make it too far, no matter how good you are. It's about being a professional in this field.
Michael.
So you guys are obviously competing with each other and others in the room for playing time, yet you also seem to have a pretty close relationship, it would seem. How do you kind of balance those two things, like being competitors on the field, but then also, you know, having that kind of bonding experience off the field?
Not to cut you off, my bad. I would say we're brothers at the end of the day. And, like, we got to understand in that if you my brother and you love me like you say you love me, you're going to push me as hard as I push you. So at the end of the day, there's no hard feelings when we on the field. We know we right at each other. Like, we want to work super hard. I'm trying to beat him out. He's trying to beat me out. But at the end of the day, we like this. Can't nothing separate us. And I feel like that's what makes us a good group, because we know it's a time and place for everything. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, we're going to love and support each other no matter what.
Yeah. You know, I think, like he said, the support system in our room is so strong. Like, if he makes a play, everybody celebrates. It's not just him, you know what I'm saying? So I think that little thing right there shows a lot about how our group is, like how tight we are. Because, you know, some people could just, they were competing and they want the spot so bad, so they're not gonna, you know what I'm saying, they really want to be happy when he makes a play. But if you watch the practice and see when somebody makes a play, everybody on the corners room is running down the field or celebrating with each other. And I think that's a blessing too, because, you know, having teammates like that and having people that want good for you and want the best for you is like the best thing you can have on a team. And it's also not only our room, it's a lot of the whole team. Like, the whole team is like that. So like I said, you know, I wouldn't want to go nowhere else, to be honest. Like, I love this team. Like, that's been the one thing for me that's like, okay, I really want to do it for these guys, because I know they really care about how we perform, and they really want to take it to the next level with our team.
And off of to back him up too, I say, like, I give a big shout out to our coaching staff, because honestly, that's how they got us trained. That's how they got us wired. Like, big ups to Coach Chip, man. He always come in the room and say, I don't want to see none of y'all hating on each other, man. Even though y'all battling it out, it should be no hate. It should be all love for your brother. And I feel like we listen to him and we trust him. So, like, back against the wall, we all we got. So.
Our last two will be Justin and Chris.
Dwight, can you tell us about your upbringing in Miami, how you started playing football, just all that?
For sure. I'm from Miami-Dade County. My upbringing, my father, he took me to the park one day. He was like, "You want to play football?" Me not knowing nothing, I'm like, "Yeah." My first practice of football, they made me hit against the hardest hitter on the team. So now I hit him. I'm like, I don't know if this is what I want to do. Like, man, this real. But like, you know, as you stick around the game, you learn to love it. And there's nothing like finding out when you're actually good at doing what you do. But like, once you find that out, it's like, oh, I could take this somewhere. So like, my upbringing was really just me finding myself. Because to be honest, piggybacking on a question about my brother didn't really play football like when he was little. He started in high school. So I really didn't have that eye. Like, I really just wanted to do it. And I was around people that I grew up with, people that stayed 2 houses down from me, like people that I play outside with, and we was able to go play football together. So it was more of a bonding thing. And then once I realized that I was good at football, I kind of took off with it.
What were some hobbies that you had, or what hobbies do you have right now away from football?
I like to play video games. I like to watch movies. I'm a big Marvel fan.
Okay.
Me and Tyrese, we like cars. We always showing each other a car on our phone. What else we like to do, bro? I just like to hang with my guys and have a good time because these are the guys I play with on Saturday.
If you were to compare yourself to a car, what would that be?
A Ram TRX. Even though I'm not the biggest, my engine go crazy.
Thanks, buddy. Chris?
Just how valuable has it been going against Noah Fafita in practice? Just, all league, first team, all Big 12 quarterback a year ago. Like, how is that helping develop your guys' game as you get ready for the season?
Noah for Heisman, man. He liked that. And, like, you know he liked that when, like, you catch an interception on him or something. That's, like, the best feeling ever because he don't throw too many of those in practice. Like, he's a professional quarterback. And a lot of people don't understand that makes us better. Because when we play against somebody else, they're going to be throwing, like, noodle passes and stuff. It's not Noah. Noah don't do that. Noah, man, he's a great leader, great person. Like, I love Noah with all my heart. And I know he loved me too. And that's just something that when I come in the building every day, I get a smile on my face when I get to say what's up to Noah. Like, it's really, truly one of a kind, for real.
Yeah, for me, I think when I first got down here and we're practicing, doing competition, I realized, like, even if I'm in the right position, Noah could still drop that ball right there. And it's like, it almost feels like you can't do anything about it, but then, that drives me to, okay, now I got to be that much more on my poise to make that play. And he's a real good leader, not only with the offense, but to the defense too. He makes sure everybody's bought in. And, like, he has a real good, a vision for himself. And I think that encourages everybody else to kind of follow that vision too, Like, seeing him have all these watch list awards and going for, like, the biggest, the biggest things is, like, knowing that you have somebody on your team that's really capable of that, and as a leader like that, it's like it pushes, not just us, but everybody to want to take everything to that next level. So, yeah, we appreciate Noah like crazy. So, yes, sir.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank y'all for having us again.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, but it was nice meeting y'all.